Let's talk about why data science, why statistics, because a lot of people do not like math.
I learned the 2 times table 3 times table when I was 3. And there was one time she came to teach me the 2 times table. I got it so much that I took a nail and then I wrote the 2 times table on my father's car. Mathematics comes in 3 folds. There's the pure math, there's the applied math, and there's the statistics. AI has made it very easy for data sciences, which is good.
A lot of people are studying data science. The information out there is a lot, and some of them are not true. So those books beyond 2010, those old professors, they knew what they were doing.
Is there money in this field?
Well, when it comes to data science, yes, but it's saturated. And it's getting to the point where AI will be doing the work of what people can do currently. You can't even do data science jobs and be working in Ghana and be paid in dollars and pounds. One thing about education is adaptability. If it's not working for you, change fast. People have made it in 70s, 80s, 60s. I have students that are 45 years old, 60-year-olds. Yes, 60. So I always hated that myth that math is difficult. So I always like to break down math to make people understand it and make them like it.
You're winning souls to math.
Right?
You are a lecturer in this field, and what resources or opportunities are out there for people who want to offer or learn data science?
So on vacancies, the website, there are opportunities that we upload, and these scholarships go. So please follow.
Yes.
And for
You are welcome to Career Pod by Vacancies. My name is Yareke Ofori and I'm your host. In today's world, one thing is sure, and that is data is running the world. That's why on this episode, we are diving into the exciting world of data science and statistics. And we will be talking about the skills needed to succeed in this field, how to break into the field, and even how much they earn. And I am honored to have with me once again, Dr. Jason S. Anquandah, an accomplished expert in data science and statistics. She will be taking us through her experience in academia and in the industry, and she will tell us how to build a successful career in this fast-growing field of data science and statistics. Hi, Doctor.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's good to have you on the show again.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. So we are going to be talking about data science today. We are going to be talking about statistics. And you are an accomplished person in this field. Please take your flowers. You are an accomplished person in this field and you've built a successful career. So there are a lot of youth today who want to go into the field of data science and statistics, and they are confused about it. They don't know where to start from, if they'll make the money from it, and if it's a place to actually build a successful career from. So before we even go deep into that topic, let's talk about why data science, why statistics, because a lot of people do not like math. Why? Why did you choose that field?
I don't like that statement. People don't like math. Yes, I think the reason why I got into math is because I used to hear that a lot. People don't like math.
Okay.
And it was usually because of the teachers or how it was taught. But that's the story for another day. I got into data science and statistics because I've always loved mathematics. Now, you're making me say my childhood story.
Please do. Tell us.
When I was young, I always loved numbers. I didn't go to crèche, so my sister would go to school and come home and come and teach me the 2 times table. Now, I learned the 2 times table, 3 times table when I was 3. And there was one time she came to teach me the 2 times table. I got it so much that I took a nail and then I wrote the 2 times table on my father's car.
Hey. Okay. What happened?
Yes, imagine one of your father's favorite children. He just can't beat you.
Yes.
He's looking at
It's you've identified your passion by spoiling his car.
So then they just knew I liked mathematics. I also knew I liked mathematics. Another thing that I also would like to say here is I also read very slowly. So yes, that's a challenge of mine. So reading was not my main thing, but it was the math. And I always used to balance it out. I would do so well in math, and then the English, I would use the math to cover up. So I was relatively good, but it was because my math grades
Yeah,
were
very
very
high.
high. Yeah, so that was how I got into numbers. I just loved numbers from the beginning, and I didn't like words.
I don't know. It seems that's the trend.
That's the
Someone who
trend.
likes math do not like
Yes.
reading. One who likes reading
But
do
the
not
thing
like
is,
math.
I didn't stop. I kept forcing to want to like the English because I know I need English to communicate.
Yes, to
Exactly,
communicate.
the math. So that's why I don't like it when people say I don't like math because you need it. Yeah, so that's how I got into the whole math. Now, down the line, I loved numbers, went in, did business in high school, then did actuarial science. Now, after actuarial science, I mentioned there was a phase where I didn't know what to do. And in mathematics comes in three folds. There's the pure math, there's the applied math, and there's the statistics.
Okay.
Yes. Now, pure math are the real theoretical people. They do the proof work. We call them the smart geniuses. Then there is the applied math, which are those that apply the mathematics in pure.
Yeah.
Applied math is usually like a bridge between statistics
And the
and then
pure
there's the
math.
statistics which deals with the data. Like we explore the data. In statistics, now one reason why I loved statistics or fell in love with statistics was because when it comes to statistics, there's no yes or no answer. Yes, it depends on what I decide to prove.
Oh.
Yes. So the data, I can have data and I can say, okay, the data proves this or it proves this.
Once you can show the
Once I
proof.
can show based on the data. So yeah, I can tell you something and I can change my mind tomorrow.
Oh,
And that
okay,
was,
okay.
that's the flexibility
Of I actually thought it was the other way around, where math is like definite, certain with the formula and everything, and reading is more like a lot.
Oh yes, that's true though. But then statistics being a wing of math becomes the wavy part because then we deal with, I don't want to use certain terms, we deal with things like hypothesis testing.
Okay.
Where
Give it to us.
where you have to prove that a theory is true or not based on the data that you have. So, and if the data is large enough, it can prove a certain way. If the data is small enough, it can go a certain way. And you can nudge certain things to get the answer that you want. It's a whole thing.
So with statistics, it's not a definite thing as there's the pure math.
And it just increases your mind of thinking.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So talking more about that, to someone who is unfamiliar about the whole field, doesn't know what he knows, has heard data science, has heard statistics, but has no idea about it, how would you describe it to that person?
So I would describe data science. So data science is a wing or a subsection of statistics. Statistics is the broader field. Data science is an aspect of statistics. It deals with the data part of the mathematics. And it has to do with taking the data and reading about it. Now, I think a lot of people do this. In accounting, in finance, they do data science. If you are able to just look at the data and read it in a form, you are a data scientist.
Oh.
Exactly. It's not, yes. So and then there are stages on how to do it. So there's the visualizing where people will put it in charts, which makes it easy for you to see.
Yeah.
There's the programming where people put it in models and then they would use it for predictions. So these are all aspects of things. But for someone that wants to start data or working into data science, I would advise, first of all, you need to love the data.
Yes.
And then also you need to start from the grassroots of, because even with data science, there are different angles that you want. So what field are you trying to look into data science? Is it in the finance world? Is it in the healthcare world? Is it in automobile world?
There are specifics.
So, yes, so you need to know which specific area that's the data science that you want to use it for. Then you study things around that. Exactly. There are things that cut across in all phases, which has to do with visualizing. Another aspect of data science, which, so apart from knowing which field that you want to pick to work from, another aspect too is you also have to work on programming. Yes. So as much as you want to run away from data science comes with programming. It comes with programming. The most popular programs that are used are RStudio, SQL, Python,
Yes.
and I think SPSS. Yes, some people use Java.
So you have to learn that too.
So you have to learn that as well. You have to learn the programming skills. You have to. So those are the two things. One, make sure that you know the exact interest that you want to go into, which field you want to go into with data science, and then two, you need to start working on your programming skills. So with this, does it mean that you can't, like, without knowing the exact place you want to go to, you can't study data science? You can. I started from an angle where I didn't know exactly which field till today. So if that's also another good angle, because entering or trying to learn the broad aspect of data science makes it versatile. Easy for you. Versatile. That's the word. Thank you very much for that. So makes you versatile. So with me currently, because I have the foundational background of data science and the programming skills, I can fit in every area. Put me anywhere and I'll give you answers. Okay. Yes. Okay. So whether you know where you want to do the data science or study the data science or not, you should still go in for it once that's what you want to do. Yes. Another thing I want to bring it in is AI has made it very easy for data sciences. So, which is good. But then I think the market is becoming saturated. At a point, people would be demanding those that know the foundations of what AI knows. So I would also advise try and learn the foundational mathematics of statistics as well. Because then it gives you an upper hand. Then you know what the machine is actually doing and you're able to explain it much better. Thank you. You are a lecturer in this field. Yes. And what resources or opportunities are out there for people who want to offer or learn data science? We know of some in Ghana, but I would want you to throw more light on that. Resources, schools, programs, etc. Yeah, when it comes to resources in schools, it's very difficult to give specifics. It depends on the country of study that you want to go into, because every country has what resources available to them. So very first thing is, we've mentioned scholarship in the previous videos, but I just want to chip this in. When it comes to data science, you can have since we are narrowing it down to data science, any scholarship to study abroad can cover a data science topic. Okay. So, and when it comes to, I'm talking from UK because I work in the UK. In UK, what happens is you apply to the school. So you first need to know, is the school offering the data science course that you want? You apply to the school. After you apply to the school, then you apply for the scholarship. Okay. Now, there are some general scholarships that cut across. I think we have the Commonwealth, we have the Chevening for UK. I think we have DAAD for Germany. We have the Erasmus, and then we also have the MasterCard. But these are general ones that would cover data science. Now, because data science is becoming very saturated, there's not a lot of scholarships available for it nowadays. Yes. Rather? Yes, rather. Data science has become more like 10 years ago, accounting and finance. Yes, they feel people can pay for it. So now it's a paid, it's a paid thing. Exactly. So now people actually do pay for it. So it's quite tough because, as I said, the market has become saturated. So but then they are available. You can search. So on vacancies, the website, there are opportunities that we upload, and these scholarships go. So please follow. Yes. And should follow for more updates. Yes. So we update and then we give these scholarship avenues. So these are ways to get the scholarships that you'd want in relation to data science. Can you tell us how a day is like for you as a lecturer? A typical day
for you as a lecturer?
I always tell people this, by God's grace, I have the strength to work a lot. I work a lot. So a typical day is to wake up, I go for a run. I go for it, yes.
Okay.
Go for a 30 minutes run, 20 to 30 minutes run. Then I have an early morning online class from 8 to 9. Then I have to go to campus. I go to campus to teach face to face. I'll probably be on campus the whole day. Now, this is a teaching day. Be on campus the whole day, have supervision meetings in between, sometimes have administrative meetings in between. And then at the end of the day, I have church service online for like 1 hour.
Okay.
And then an online class in the evening.
Oh.
Now, yes, my day is usually very packed. Yes. And this is teaching day. There are other days where I only have meetings at home where I do consultancy. Would consult for certain companies, would be telling them how to use their data or analyzing their data for them. I also travel sometimes to do consultancy gigs and a few things here and there, which we would end here.
You do have a packed day,
Yes,
regardless of whether you're lecturing or not. So talking about the skills for data science,
Yes.
what will be as a beginner, as someone beginning or breaking into the field, what skills should a person focus on as someone starting out?
Yes. So I think I've mentioned a bit of this, but the very first thing is be ready to learn. So that's the first skill. I would advise you start from the foundation. So learn the math underneath it. So a bit of statistics and knowing how basic statistics works goes a long way. Another thing I would advise is programming skills. So programming skills. Also, there are courses online that people can take. Coursera.
I was about to say, can you give us examples? So.
Yeah, Coursera. They're free. YouTube. Amazing. YouTube videos.
At university for free.
Yes. Watch out. We'll be rolling some new YouTube videos on vacancies. So just be watching the space for that as well. So yes, YouTube videos and then books. Not PDFs or publications, books. Books on data science. The old books nowadays, because a lot of people are studying data science, the information out there is a lot. And some of them are not true. So those books beyond 2010.
Okay, I like the specific dates.
Yes, those books, those old professors, they knew what they were doing. And they know what they are doing. Not to say the current writers are not good enough. There are some good writers, but just be careful. And also, when you find out any information on data science, try to make sure that you find it in 3 different references.
I want you to touch on that again.
Yes. So when you find information on data science, find it in at least 3 different references. That makes the information solid and very truthful. Yeah.
Beautiful. So people talk about the money.
Yes.
I mean, everyone is working for money.
Sorry.
Is the money this field? There's passion, very important. But if someone wants to go into this field, not just for passion, what would you advise?
Well, I think there's money in every field.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's money in every field. It's just you identifying the niche and then being able to pick on the niche. By God's grace, I'm comfortable. I've not reached the level where I want to hit, and I know God is God. But when it comes to data science, yes, it's very lucrative. Because very lucrative, because data runs the world. But I always bring in the but it's saturated. And it's getting to the point where AI will be doing the work of what people can do currently.
But do you think it's a field or a job that will fade out?
It's not a job that will fade out. It's a job that you have to fight to keep your place. So it wouldn't fade out. It's just that it's getting so automated that at a point, they wouldn't need people, exactly. But they would need certain people who know the details and the foundations of
data science and
exactly.
statistics.
But then, if you just know the basics, you can easily be put out. Yeah.
So with this statement, would you advise people today to venture into data science and statistics?
I would, but then I would advise you to find your niche and then find an angle where you can be held very valuable, okay? Or if it's a phase where you just want to enter to make money and go out, you can also do that and go out. Yes, and not in a bad way, because the data is running the world. That one, there's no lie. Because in order to run a company, you need past data. In order to make decisions in the future, you need past data. Everything you do, you need past data. Okay, even in our human lives, before you deal with a person or a friend, you remember memory. Memory is data.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's
so
true.
Then when it comes to that, so it's not something that would go extinct. It's just something that is being automated. So as it's being automated, you also need to find where you can locate yourself so that in the automation, you are still valuable.
Okay. Thank you for that. You've been able to balance academia and consulting.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
By grace, but as I said, I don't want to be holier than thou.
Feel free.
Yes, but then when it comes to the balance, I can honestly say I'm still not 100% balanced. Yes, but I put in the work and I've decided not to give up. And I like the baby girl life.
What skills are helping you do that?
What skills are helping me? Yeah, being vigilant. And then also not wanting to give up. I think that's the main thing. You just need to keep. There are days where I don't sleep because I have to do work for a consultant and I have to deliver. Yes. And that same morning, I have to teach. Yes. So then you'd have to find, but there are days where it's chilled. So when it's a matter of planning time. But Mike Tyson said this, you always have a game plan until you're punched in the face. There's always a plan, but it can go wayward.
Yes, it
so
can.
When it comes to balancing, I have timetables. I schedule based on the timetables. I try to put things based on, so this time is teaching day. On this day is research day. This evening for consultancy, this evening for calling this person, for doing this. There's a calendar. There's my team calendar is always, exactly. So that's one thing that really helps me a lot. But as I said, it can fail sometimes because the work can be overbearing.
Yes.
Yeah. But that would be the first thing I'll tell someone. If you want to balance a lot, plan your time very well. It helps.
Plan your time very well.
Yeah.
That's very important. We'll touch on the challenges, more about the challenges. But you've spoken about the need to identify your field, as that helps. Even though if you're not able to, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
How do one identify the field they want to go to?
Well, that's a good thing. You identify your field based on your interest.
The interest.
Yes. So the interest comes in here. So you identify your field based on your interest. If there is an iota of interest in there, you would naturally blend with it. It would flow. But sometimes you would also want to have a large or massive interest in it.
Oh.
Yes. So it's in phases. My PhD, now let me say this. I wasn't very excited during my PhD.
Why? Why weren't you excited?
Because I had to do pure math, which was theoretical proving math. So proof work.
That wasn't something you enjoyed doing.
So even though I love math, people are always shocked when I say this. The first 1.5 years of my PhD was hectic. But there was that iota of math. I still love math,
yes.
And along the line, that was when I figured out that with the theoretical math, I can apply data. So at the end of my PhD, I applied data. Oh, that was the happiest time. So there was that iota of interest that kept me going. But there was that when I manage to blend it out, so it usually ends up fitting through. You would usually connect through it. Yes. Some people might take some time. Some people, it would happen quickly. Some people would get what they want exactly. But then it's also based on the target. What do you want to achieve? At the end of the day, how do you blend it there?
Speaking of that, another question I have for you is, in a situation where someone identifies a field as the field they want to learn data science in, and later on realize that this is not the field, what advice would you give to such a person?
Yes. One thing about education is adaptability. If it's not working for you, change fast.
Don't waste
continue. Time. Don't waste time. Switch. Change fast, as quickly as you can. Because yes, you might have wasted time doing something, but you figured out that this is not what I want to do. Do what you want to do. Yeah. Do what you want to do. People have made it in 70s, 80s, 60s. I have students that are 45 years old, 60-year-olds. Yes. 60. Wow. I have mature students. Yes. And this is because they decided that they want to do their PhD before they retire, or they want to do their PhD
60, wow.
Yes.
How's it like to change?
Yes. How's it like to teach 60 years? It's patience. It's patience. It's learning your place. So as much as you are, it's knowing that you are a guide, but at the same time, I think the Ghanaian in us instilled a lot of respect in us. So it's finding that balance of being able to respect your elders and also guide them at the same time. Sometimes they don't listen though. But hey, you do your part. You do your part.
That's interesting. Let's talk about the roles. You're a lecturer in data science and statistics. What other roles are there when it comes to this field?
Okay, so in data science, they have the data analyst, the data programmer, even cybersecurity falls under data science. Anything related to data can be a data scientist. There are a large range of people. I would advise that if you'd want to go into the data, you should research the jobs that are available and what fields that you want to go into. Okay. Even the title data scientist is a job on its own. Okay. Then there's a data programmer who deals with only programming. There's a data analyst who deals with analysis. But all these jobs are intertwined. So, but then they have distinct roles that they play. So it's a matter of you doing your investigation. I'm sorry I can't give a lot because we don't have much time, but then it's usually you can find, I always tell students this, you can find everything on Google, online. Just research jobs in data science. You find a list of them and then the things that you need, the requirements, things you need to study, the amounts they make and all that. And the amounts vary based on the countries as well. So you need to also know.
So what's the highest paying role?
So it depends on the country.
Okay, that's important.
Yes. It depends on the country. Some people do it online, solely online. So you can even do data science jobs and be working in Ghana, you'll be paid in dollars and pounds. So yes,
so it's not specific.
It's not specific. Yes. It varies a lot.
So I'm curious, how did you identify or settle on you wanting to be a lecturer? How did you settle on that? How did you identify that?
So with a lecturer, I think it's also another childhood story.
Okay. Looks like your passion started right from childhood.
I believe everyone's passion actually starts from childhood. Yes. We actually do know what you want to do when you're a child. Yeah. The things that make you happy, groom you.
So do you think people lose that passion as they grow? I think
yes. And I think that's why I'm gearing into learning and education more, because then I want to concentrate on being able to groom children to know their passion and grow into it. Yes. So that's one passion of mine, being able to help children identify their passion.
Very important.
Because we do actually have our skills whilst we are kids. Now back to my story. So when I was young, around the same time where I did that thing with the car, there were, in our house, there's a lane of flowers, and I used to teach the flowers. Yes, because I was alone at home. My sister and brother would go to school, and then they would come and teach me. So during the day when they go, I would get up and I had to teach somebody. And the flowers were the ones, and I would pick
you don't
a
like
cane.
being idle.
No, I'll pick a cane and I'll teach them 2 times table, 3 times, and the dogs. So I'll line them up and then I'll be teaching them. My God. So I used to beat the flowers so much that they withered. And so if you ever come to my house, there's a pavement there, and that pavement indicates the flowers.
It's interesting. That's how you realize your passion.
That's how, and actually, parents also help a lot, because it was my father who identified it and kept saying that, yeah, she loves to teach. And it was a reminder. And apart from that, it's also another thing that I like to do. I like to help people and break down. So I always hated that myth that math is difficult. So I always like to break down math to make people understand it, you see, and make them like it.
You're winning souls to math.
Right? Right? So yeah, so that was when
that's an interesting and beautiful story. To identify your passion. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the challenges in the field.
Oh.
We'll talk about it in 2 ways. Challenges you face personally and challenges people should look forward to. So we'll start with the first one. What are the challenges you faced as you were breaking into the field, growing in the field? What are the challenges you faced? Could you give us 5 challenges you faced?
Oh, 5?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. First challenge would be thinking of passion over finance. Yeah. Where you have to eat, but then you also have to not think of money. Yeah. So you do the job without thinking of money. That's the first challenge. Yeah, because, and that's one thing that most people find, they think of their stomachs first.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen hard
do not
times.
pay the bills.
They don't pay the bills.
Don't pay the bills.
But there's a way to find a way to pay the bills a little. You don't have to be greedy from the beginning. So yeah, that's the very first challenge, where I had to find that. Now, I think the second challenge was learning to work with people.
Wow.
Yes, people can betray you. People have different ways of thinking. People would say things and they wouldn't do it. So it's not everybody. It happens. So it's about you also being able to not have expectations and then being able to work through it. Yes. So that was the second challenge. The third challenge was communication. I had a problem communicating. I always had that thing of, I always wanted to give my bosses that perfect picture
of yourself,
of myself. But I'm human. I also break down, you know?
Yes.
So, and I actually did lose a gig because I didn't communicate a challenge that I was going through. Yes. And it was at the end where they took away the contract. That's when I mentioned that I was going through this challenge. And the lady was like, you should have said it. And we would have. Yes. You see? So as much as we are trying to be perfect, you're not Superwoman, you're not Superman, you're not Batman. Yes. Communicate. I have a challenge in this area, so I can't do this at this particular time, at this particular place or face. I think those are the 3 I can remember. I can't remember 5.
That's fine. But talking about communication, it's very key in whatever field, not even just in data science, because with the example you've even given, it's so true that even in our workplaces, corporate environments, communication is a challenge.
It is.
Because people find it hard to communicate, or they just do not want to communicate. And I realize that's a skill one needs to learn. You have to be intentional about learning how to communicate advice. As you said, you ended up losing a gig.
I lost a gig
as a result.
Yeah.
So these challenges you've mentioned are the ones that people should also expect, because it's peculiar to you. What general challenges should you expect as you want to venture into the field of data science?
Yeah, I think it cuts across. Like as you said, if you don't communicate, you would lose gigs. Also, if you with the second example that I gave in relation to people would always disappoint you.
Betrayals.
Yes, people would disappoint you. Yes, I think one challenge is having a tough skin and then not letting the things you hear around you sway you. Sometimes it's good because what people say might have some element of truth in there. And then you need to improve yourself in a particular area. But there are situations where people are just being hateful and do not want to give you certain promotions in that field. So then they say certain things against you. You would have to cover up, smile,
You
put
can't do
yourself
anything in that situation. I was about to ask, what do you do in such a situation?
In such a situation,
what we know is you defend.
No, you if you are given the avenue to defend, you defend yourself. If you are not given the avenue to defend, keep doing your work.
Wow.
Yes, keep doing it. Get up and go and do your work.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Because you would want to defend yourself and...
Yeah, you would. But then the thing is, in when it comes to data science or when it comes to the field of work, one thing that you want to concentrate on is problem solving. You don't want to concentrate or dwell on the problem too much. There's a problem. Let's solve it and move on. You see? Yes. We are not trying to, if the need be, where we need to sit down, assess, regroup, evaluate, and then restructure to improve, then we can talk about
settle on it, dwell
yes.
on it, and then...
But then there's no need of blame game when it's not necessary and the job needs to be done.
So that's one. Those are some of the challenges people are likely to face.
People are likely to
if
face.
they go into data science.
People dwell on problems too much.
That's true.
Yes.
Don't need to dwell on problems too much. Move on. Learn to move on. Let's talk about myth. We'll be wrapping up very soon. Let's talk about myth. What myth would you debunk regarding data science and statistics?
It's a yes and it's a dicey situation. But one myth that people think is in data science is all about programming.
Which is not true.
Data science is not all about programming. Data science is about critical thinking. It's about communication. It's about being able to... data science is about, yes, critical thinking. It's about communication. It's about being able to take the data, process it into information, and give it out.
I like the simplified definition.
And as I said, I always make things so complicated seem so simple. Usually, after I finish teaching a class, the students go like, I think it's so easy.
Well, that's beautiful. That's actually great.
Yeah, it is. It's by God's grace.
Well, that's getting those feedback is beautiful. It should be fulfilling.
It is. I think one of the most fulfilling things when it comes to teaching is being able to break things down for students to absorb. That it's amazing when you see them use the things that you teach them to do more amazing things. Perfect. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So let's talk about your younger self.
Yeah.
You have made it this far and you're still going. Yeah. As you mentioned, you haven't gotten to where you want to. Yeah. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Advice I would give to my younger self is be courageous, be adaptable, and don't be afraid of anything.
Why these ones?
Because I was very timid as a child. Yes, very timid, very shy. I was bullied. Yes.
In Ghana?
Yes, in Ghana. I was bullied because I was fat.
Hey!
I was a chubby child.
Surprise.
Yes. I was a chubby child. I was bullied. Adaptability comes in with the fact that I always stuck to things and wanted things in a certain way. Wasn't ready to change.
To adapt.
Yeah. And it cost me a few things. And then the third one is a fear. The fear of rejection. The fear of, I can't do this. we can actually do anything we set our minds to.
We can?
Anything.
Anything.
Anything. Yes. With the opportunity available though. Yeah. But
Very
you can.
important.
Any good thing. Let me specify.
Yeah.
Any good thing before people go and say, hey, I can't
Do anything. That's great. And that's a powerful mindset to have as well. So, Dr. Jason, let's talk about advice. We are going to give your final advice to people. And they are looking to build a successful career in this field. Before that, one question I have for you is, what reality check should they have?
Reality check.
As they want to venture into the field, or even people studying the course, or even wanting to give up. Not because they don't have the passion, not because they don't like it, but then they are probably tired and they want to give up. And what advice do you have for such people? Or what reality check should people have?
I think when it comes to reality checks are more personal. Because then I can give a general reality check and then it wouldn't work for you. So one reality check is to check yourself.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I would say. One reality check is to check yourself, because people tend to always point fingers and always look for why things didn't work based on external factors and do not check themselves. So your reality check, that's advice I'll give. Check yourself.
Okay, so your reality check is to check yourself. So to the final words, someone wanting to build a career, words of encouragement, what would Dr. Jason tell that person as a student, a friend, a professional? What would you say to that person?
For someone who's trying to build a career, I would say that you, as I said, reality check, check yourself. But I also believe, and I've said this several times, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. But figure out your interest and then work towards it. If you haven't figured out your interest, you can start wide and then narrow it down as well. So it's a wide range of opportunities. Yeah, SWOT analysis, that's what just came to mind. You figure out your strengths, your weaknesses, then you get your opportunities and you identify your threats. Now, these 4 would guide you in every aspect of your life.
They will guide you in every aspect of your life.
Yeah,
Thank
God.
you. Okay, very important.
God first.
Put God first. Very, very important. Thank you so much, Doc, for being here. Thank you so much for your time. I've enjoyed this conversation with you.
Me too.
And all the very best in your future endeavors. And yeah, thank you so much.
To you.
Thank you.
And you did amazing.
Thank you. So it's a wrap. And I believe if you are looking to solve real life problems with data and make data-driven decisions, this episode has been insightful and you've enjoyed it. We will see you in our next episode. Until then, bye.